Now for this stage I want to refine that brushwork a little bit more, create a more rounded form, and then the last stage I'm going to look at detail. So again, always keeping an eye on the drawing. So this sort of light value can now get brought in a nice blend into the shadow. Again, as I said, we tend to think that sometimes that our shadows are too dark, but really all it needs is a soft transitional gradient. Now there may well be a slightly darker edge creeping up on the other side of that pear. So it's looking much more rounded now, but before I stop, I'm just going to go back and just make sure I've got most of those values right. That reflected light needs to come up a little bit stronger. Any reflected light down here? Yes, there is a little bit. And then I also need to lighten up that highlight a good bit. I'm fairly happy with the rounded effect on that pear there. Let's go on to the other one. So this at the moment isn't reading as a green, so I need to bring some green paint into that. Its darkest aspect is down here, so I'll start with the green over here and work my way across so that it picks up the brown paint. The brown disappears into the brown of that shadow, disappears into the background. There's nothing wrong with lost edges, they can work really well in painting. Okay, very, very dark on this side of the pear. And let's look at rounding that form again on this one. So we need more highlight, yes, it needs to come in here. Now let's go back in. If I cut a very dark edge across this, then that dark green should appear as green rather than brown. It's getting confused with the background at the moment. Okay, into the very dark accents underneath the pear and soften the transition out. Same here, soften it out and then softening the edges of the cast shadow quite a bit. Okay, how's that looking? Fairly happy with that. Just sort out that stalk. A little bit too light. It's catching a bluish light at the end here, which is lovely. Okay, that's probably it now for stage 3. Again, I take another break and then I'm going to come back and look at texture and pattern. Maybe just one last thing before I go, just pick up a little bit of that reflected light under here.